Okay, so,
Miko, ikaw na.
Ikahiyan pa. Okay, so you've been here before, right? 2014. What was that for again? Like I think they mentioned the one.
The grand opening of the NBA store.
Okay. Um, so since you're a returning visitor, what would be like the one thing you're looking forward to the most for this trip?
I think the one thing that I'm most interested is one interacting with the fans. I think they're a big part of our game. Here in the Philippines, basketball is one of the most watched events here over here. Basketball has grown internationally when you look at from the league standpoint. So getting an opportunity to speak and hang out with young ballers that have dream and aspirations to one day play at a high level and to be able to give them advice as much as possible is a huge blessing. I never had that opportunity as a kid to meet a professional athlete or someone that can come in and give me real information. So I think that is one of the things that I'm most looking forward to.
so talk about the experience so far. What's the difference between 2014 and 2020 in terms of your visit in the Philippines?
Well, I just got here last night, so I didn't really get an opportunity to get out. But I can tell you this: ever since I got off the plane, the hospitality has been amazing. It just shows you how incredible the fans here in the Philippines is. They greeted me with a lot of love. So I think I'm going to have just as much of a great time that I had when I was here 10 years ago.
Okay. A lot of the guys a while ago asked you a bunch of like Detroit questions, right?
Yes.
So I want to take it back, like your rookie season. What was it like beginning your career in DC, and then how much pressure was it, like sharing the backcourt with somebody like MJ?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got drafted by Washington, it was an amazing feeling for me because I'm from Pennsylvania, and that was only an hour and a half commute from my parents and my friends to come and watch me play. I thought that was very great for them to be able to come and watch me play. But it was difficult. It was hard. I mean, I just won a national champion. I think I only lost one or two games my junior year in college, and now coming to the Wizards and only winning 18 my first year. So it was tough, and having to come off the bench, but also being able to learn from a great vet that I had in front of me, which was Mitch Richmond, one of the great two guards. But then getting the opportunity to play with Michael Jordan in year three,
Here's the
like to be able to share the backcourt with him. I mean, like if you ask any kid growing up, and someone says to you, "Hey, man, there's one day," which I still got to pinch myself right now. Like one day you're going to share the court with the GOAT. That's still crazy to me. Like even to think about it to this day. Like I mean, but it was amazing time for me to being able to learn from one of the greatest that ever played the game. So just amazing time.
Were you a big fan of his like growing up?
Oh, absolutely. He was my favorite player. He was my favorite player to watch. The reason why I wore 32 was because of Michael Jordan. Even though he wore 23, it's 23 backwards. But just to be able to interact with him, be around him. Like I watched so many highlights. I watched so many great games. He was a champion. We played the same position. Uh, got a ball head now. Didn't have a ball head back then. But it was an amazing time.
So you speaking of your experience with MJ, because everyone knows MJ also loves to somehow say some sweet pleasantries, some trash talks to, to the player. So do you have any story of him doing those trash talks when you were with him in DC and when you were against him when you traded to Detroit?
Oh, it was a lot of trash talking. I mean, I trash talk everybody though. That's a part of the game. I mean, you try different angles to try to get the advantage on your opponent. Michael would come down and trash talk, but when he tried to trash talk, I was trying to get information. Like I was a young kid trying to be great at this game, so I'm trying to get as much information as possible because I knew at one point in time I was going to get my time and I wanted to be prepared. As a player, as a person, the one thing I always say is I hate being unprepared, going into a situation and not knowing. But getting the opportunity to play with him, I was able to ask him as many questions as possible to now when it was my time, I was prepared.
Okay, recently Dwayne Wade said that you and Ray Allen were the hardest players to guard. Any reaction to this? And of course, the similarity of the three of you.
Oh man, I mean, me and Dwayne had a lot of battles. You know, uh, we talk on numerous occasions, especially now, because we didn't talk a whole lot when we played against each other. Because again, it was survival of the fittest. Like we knew that we were going to play them in the Eastern Conference, and you would do anything possible to try to get an advantage. So for him to say that uh, is amazing because you want to be respected as a player. As a player, you don't come on the court to be liked, but you want to be respected. And I tried to go out there and compete at my hardest each and every night. And for a great player like Dwayne to mention me as one of the toughest guys that he had to guard, just let me know I was doing something right.
Last question.
Wait, so I have one more question on my end. So now let's go back to your Pistons days, and your Pistons team takes pride in their defense. But in today's NBA, how do you think your defense will thrive in today's NBA?
Oh man, our defense would lock some teams up. Like it wouldn't be 130, 140 nights going against our Piston teams. I mean, because we had rules, like we had laws that we had among us. Like one of them was like no dunks. You watch the game now, you get 10, 15, 20 dunks in a game, right? If we know a guy was a shooter, we were taking that away. He gets no threes today, right? I just feel as though we understood scout report. We understood that, hey, you know what, our offense was going to be our offense, but if we're going to win a championship, it's going to rely on the defensive end.
You go
Um,
ahead, Miko.
okay,
That's our time.
another Pistons question. How close are you guys? Like after all these years, like after winning that championship, do you guys still get to catch up, talk to each other?
Yeah. No, we talk probably twice to three times a week, right? Oh yeah. I mean, like I just got a text because we're on a group text, and Tayshawn made a comment about Rashid. He just went on a podcast, and he made a comment on the podcast. So our relationship is bigger than basketball, right? That's why we call ourselves the best five a lot, because we embody something special on the court, but it wasn't just on the court, it was off the court too. We hung together New Year's Eve, we did everything together on the road trip, especially when you look at the league where there's so much money involved, so many egos and things like that. We didn't get caught up in that. Like we got caught up in the relationship. The relationship and the brotherhood was bigger than anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.